Next on CTN News.
The cities need to get together and determine what we think is our best strategy.
A proposal to lobby for additional funding for Highway 10 improvements hits a roadblock. We'll explain. Plus, a decision this week that could change redevelopment plans for an empty port along Coon Rapids Boulevard. But first,
this particular strain appears to be very hardy.
The state confirms its first case of a respiratory virus affecting children across the country. That tops CTN News this Friday, September 19th, 2014. Thanks for joining us. Enteroviruses affect millions of children each year, but the EV-D68 strain is especially rare and harsh.
Its first known victim here in Minnesota is out of the hospital this week and recovering at home. Already, the enterovirus has sickened dozens of children across the U.S. CTN's Bao Vang has more, including what some local daycare centers are doing to prevent the virus from spreading.
Wanted to send a separate email to make you aware of a couple illnesses that are widespread.
Earlier this week, as news spread about enterovirus sickening more and more American children, Blaine daycare owner Wendy Scourge was proactive and sent a letter to the parents of her daycare children.
So far we've been fine here, but I don't want to take any chances.
Tuesday, the Minnesota Department of Health identified its first case of EV-D68. Scourge reminded the parents to take any signs of sickness seriously and to keep children home if they're feeling under the weather.
Not only are they subjecting the kids, but myself, and if I get it, I'm going to close.
I'm sure more kids will have it.
Anoka County's public health nurse says with enterovirus continuing to spread in Minnesota children, people who have kids or take care of kids, like at this home, can help prevent its spread by practicing basic hygiene.
I think the message for daycares is to get their infection control practices fine-tuned and to teach these kids about good hand washing.
I'm really good about hand washing. I even have, when the kids wash their hands, I have them sing the alphabet.
That's about 30 seconds of germ killing with soap and water. Nurse Holmquist tells us what doesn't work.
Alcohol-based sanitizers are ineffective.
As for treatment, there is none. Relief from symptoms can be found with over-the-counter meds. Bao Vang, CTN News.
As of Thursday, the Centers for Disease Control says 153 children from 18 states have had respiratory illnesses caused by EV-D68. Kids who have asthma or weakened immune systems are most susceptible to getting the illness.
A special honor this week for a Mercy Hospital doctor who passed away last year at the age of 53.
And whereas Mercy Hospital and the City of Coon Rapids jointly wish to honor the life and accomplishments of Dr. Michael Slama in a special way for his contributions to the City of Coon Rapids, Mercy Hospital, and all the patients served from our city and the bordering community.
On Tuesday night, Mayor Tim Howe proclaimed September 16th as Dr. Michael Slama Day in Coon Rapids. His family and supporters were presented with a street sign that will be placed on the campus of Mercy Hospital. Slama started his medical career at Mercy Hospital in 1990 and raised his family in Coon Rapids. He helped spearhead the effort for a new mother-baby center at Mercy, which is currently under construction.
A memorandum of understanding between the city and Shamrock Development has been voided for the redevelopment of Port Riverwalk. A revised concept plan for the site was approved late last year by the city. Shamrock was given 6 months to put together a proposal for the 31-acre site, but the city didn't receive anything until 4 p.m. Tuesday, just hours before the Housing and Redevelopment Authority declared the MOU null and void. Still, the city plans to review the Shamrock plan.
It means that we have still have an interested developer, and so we'll be looking, in a more detailed fashion at what's proposed, what kind of a purchase, what kind of a plan might we expect. We'll certainly have to consider, timing, because there's great interest in getting development, to start occurring by 2015.
The city says there's still a fair amount of work to do in the Port Riverwalk area in terms of roads, sidewalks, trails, and relocating utilities. The concept plan approved by the city includes mostly residential units with some neighborhood commercial development. The city is teaming up with the Anoka County Regional Rail Authority to market the vacant land near the Coon Rapids North Star Commuter Rail Station. The county-owned land is between the Riverdale Station platform and the Target store. The transit-oriented development would likely include rental housing and a small amount of retail space. City and county officials plan on putting out a request for qualifications to solicit a developer for the Riverdale Station property.
It's been a noisy week for neighbors who live along University Avenue. Crews are pile driving the support beams for a new bridge that will span Sand Creek. It's all part of a project to reconstruct University Avenue to a 4-lane divided highway between 109th and 121st Avenue. University has been closed near 118th Avenue for the last 2 weeks. Starting next week, University Avenue will be closed for 5 days between 115th and 117th for additional work. The project won't be finished until November of 2015. The intersection of Highway 10 and Armstrong Boulevard in Ramsey has secured a $10 million federal grant for capacity and safety improvements.
But the news comes as local cities hit the brakes on a plan to join forces to lobby for more funding for the corridor. CTN's Joe Nelson joins us now from Highway 10 to explain. Joe?
Steve and Karen, drivers often complain about hitting traffic, but this stretch of Highway 10 has caused more problems than a slow commute. 12 people have died trying to cross this road over the past 12 years, intensifying the need for upgrades.
Once I hit that first stoplight in Anoka, that's when I started slowing down and going about 40-ish, and it's kind of bumper to bumper traffic.
Students at Anoka Technical College get a lesson in patience every day on their way to class.
It gets really congested in the Ferry Street area because everybody's trying to get on there.
Sometimes I gotta sit there 5 to 12 minutes to get through either way on either lane.
Jim Prater at Eddie's Auto Center on Highway 10 says nearby crashes do bring in business, but traffic can drive some customers away.
Nobody's going to come this way at 4 o'clock on a Friday or Thursday afternoon because their trip is going to be extended at that point.
City leaders in Anoka recognize a need for changes to keep traffic flowing and to make it safer for pedestrians to cross.
We have a real safety issue with Highway 10 and Fair Oak in particular. There have been pedestrian fatalities along that area as well that are of great concern to us.
To speed things up, the North Metro Mayors Association wants cities, including Coon Rapids, to join an alliance to lobby for federal and state funding for improvements to Highway 10. But some area cities aren't so sure.
If the third lane isn't a part of that, I can't imagine the benefit for us.
Our objection was to the very expensive $45,000 to pay to consultants. The cities have worked together in the past and will work together in the future. I think we just need to figure out a more fiscally responsible way to do so.
I just hope that they get something figured out and don't have a situation where they band-aid this problem and not spend the money in a useful situation to get the road project done.
With Anoka's reluctance and no guarantee on a third lane as part of the project, the Coon Rapids City Council voted not to take action on the proposal. A study by MnDOT and Anoka County is ongoing, and smaller scale improvements are more likely until a large scale change is made. Steve and Karen?
All right, Joe, thank you. Still to come on CTN News, an Olympic competition for seniors.
Sounds like a lot of fun, and plus an upcoming forum for all parents. They are encouraged to attend. Also had students at Anoka Ramsey Community College mark Constitution Day this week. We'll take you there.
And the Anoka County Sheriff's Office opens its doors to the public. The statistics are sobering.
Almost half of high school seniors have abused a drug of some kind, which is why it's important for parents to get involved. Next Thursday night, Anoka County is hosting a forum for parents and guardians about current trends in youth drug use. The forum will take place from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Bunker Hills Activity Center. There is a $10 fee to attend, which can be paid at the door. The author of the book, Dangerous Drugs, will be on hand along with a panel of local experts, including chemical health staff and law enforcement representatives.
There's 2 new faces on the Coon Rapids police force. On Tuesday night, officers Josh Perkola and Justin Havorka were introduced to the community during the ceremony at the City Council meeting. Josh is a lifelong Minnesota resident who grew up in Roseville. Prior to being hired on as a police officer, he served as a community service officer in Coon Rapids since 2010. Justin Havorka grew up here and graduated from Coon Rapids High School. He previously served as a volunteer reserve with the police department.
The Anoka County Sheriff's Office opened its doors to the public this week to showcase its department. On Tuesday, the Sheriff's Office hosted its annual open house. Hundreds of people turned out to tour the facility, which includes the Tri-County Regional Forensic Laboratory. The crime scene unit, SWAT team, and dive team also had equipment on display for visitors to check out.
It's a good way to get the kids involved in having good, positive encounters with the Sheriff's Office, members of the Sheriff's Office, law enforcement officers and deputies, and give them some safety tips about different things that we all participate in, whether it's water-related emergencies or fire, which we have our local partners here with North Memorial, with Andover Fire Department.
The open house also included free fingerprinting for children. Other partners of the Sheriff's Office also had booths, including the Jacob Wetterling Resource Center and Mediation Services.
This week marks the 227th anniversary of the U.S. Constitution.
Can I burn the flag?
On Wednesday, political science students at Anoka-Ramsey Community College brought the Constitution to life during a student forum on Constitution Day. A student panel, along with their teacher, role-played different situations to highlight the amendments. It was part of an introduction to the Bill of Rights for the class.
We're really just trying to focus on the critical thinking skills and trying to get them to think more closely. Some of the beliefs, we're not trying to change beliefs or get people to think a certain way, but when you hear or read or think something, refine it, analyze it, and really make your own conclusion as to what the truth is or not. Or do we need more information to find the truth?
Also, a table was set up so students could register to vote. All colleges and universities in the U.S. that receive federal funding must do something to mark Constitution Day. The upcoming election means campaigning will soon be in full swing. We'll also be hearing from the local candidates running for office at several upcoming forums, including one on Monday, September 29th. The League of Women Voters is sponsoring a forum with the candidates running for Coon Rapids City Council and also Legislative Districts 36B and 37A. The forum starts at 6:30 p.m. at the Coon Rapids City Center. CTN will be there taping it for playback at a later date.
Competitors advanced in age squared off at the 20th annual Camellia Rose Olympics for seniors last week. 8 teams of seniors from around Anoka County came to the Care Center in Coon Rapids to show off their skills in putting, throwing, frisbees, and shooting hoops. The day also included face painting, prizes, a raffle, and a visit from Elvis. Program Director Cheryl Shank says the participants do get competitive.
Well, they want to win. So, I mean, they cheer each other on. It's just a lot of fun for them.
The Senior Olympics usually takes place in June, but were moved to September this year after a new parking lot was completed. And it was a birthday party of sorts at the Coon Rapids Civic Center on Thursday. The Senior Center honored those around age 90 and over at an annual celebration, which included lunch. The Golden Tones Choir also performed.
A total of 4 new movies hit the big screen this weekend. Howie Shapiro has a rundown in this week's Now Showing.
Your father had one final request, and we are going to honor it. He just wanted his kids under one roof. So for the next 7 days, you are all grounded.
Hey. What? Oh, no, we're just sitting in an awkward silence.
This is where I leave you. When their father passes away, 4 grown siblings are forced to return to their childhood home and live under the same roof together for a week with their mother, spouses, exes, and might have been.
Starting over is complicated, and you don't do complicated, Judd. You never have. Anything can happen. Anything happens all the time.
Private detective.
Unlicensed. I do favors for people. In return, they give me gifts. So, what can I do for you?
A walk among the tombstones. Private investigator Matthew Scudder is hired by a drug pin to find out who kidnapped and murdered his wife.
They were obsessed. These guys are monsters. They're not human. How can I find them?
Also playing this week, The Maze Runner. Thomas learns he is trapped in a maze that will require him to join forces with fellow runners for a shot at escape. And Tusk. Wallace goes missing in the backwoods of Manitoba while interviewing a mysterious seafarer. His best friend and girlfriend team up with an ex-cop to look for him. I'm Howie Shapiro, and that's what's showing.
All right, quite the variety. Thanks, Howie.
And thank you for watching. Join us again next week.